Howdy everyone, my name is Aaron Dowd and I'm with Archer Services. I'm a local contractor in the Houston area. I serve the residential market. Just giving you a little background on me, just so you kind of know where I'm coming from. Been servicing the residential market on the contractor side for almost 20 years professionally. So I know, I've been through the process of what customers go through in the whole construction when they're getting ready to start a big project. And I want to tell you 5 major things that most customers just don't do. People don't know. They either are nervous to ask about or whatever it is. But let me kind of go through those top 5 things, at least from my point of view, that sometimes I wish my customers would even ask of me to do, make me feel comfortable in what they should go through. Number 1. Are you insured? Of course, everybody posted on their trucks and everywhere that they're insured and all this stuff. That's all great. But there are so many different kinds of insurance. They could be talking about just insurance on their car, as simple as. But general liability insurance, that's the insurance that protects the company, that protects you as a customer, as a homeowner, to make sure that if something bad happens on your property, that the weight doesn't fall on you and your policy. So what general liability insurance is essentially just like insurance for your car, but it's for the company. And so what it does is if there's an accident, you'll be covered. Now there's a few major things you need to check out about it. Don't be afraid to ask them for a certificate of insurance. Certificate of insurance is very important. What that does is you can then you'll see who, if they've got a broker, you'll be able to actually see who the major policy holder is. Like, for example, ours is nationwide, but we use a broker here in Katy, Texas that takes care of us. Those are the people that we call first, then they call nationwide if we have an issue. So you want those numbers. You want to call, you want to see what the overall policy is. So our policy being in the residential market doesn't have to be massive. It's $1 million policy, but a lot of contractors, especially in the commercial market, need $1 million, $2 million, and up depending on the project. For the different circumstances that they're working on. We're also only working on landscaping, the external softscapes, plantscapes, but if you're doing major stuff where it could potentially affect your entire house, if they bust a water line and flood your entire house, you want to be aware of that. You want to call that number and make sure the policy is still good and current, that they've paid up to date, that they are continuing to pay on it. Number 2, you want to call and ask them how much that policy is. Is it still in good standing? Make sure they don't have any outstanding issues that might be coming up. Because what that $1 million policy is, that's the max payout. And so if they have a $500,000 claim against that policy, or even higher, they only have $500,000 left on that policy. What if they have a $900,000 claim and you have $100,000 left on that policy? There's like nothing left of that policy. Figure that out. Just make sure they're in good standing with their insurance company. Very important. Number 2, workers' comp. Did you know that general liability does not cover if somebody gets hurt on your property? So you want to make sure that before you welcome any contractor on your property, that their employer, the main company, has workers' comp insurance. If that company carries workers' comp insurance, that employee cannot sue that owner. They cannot go after you. They have to go through that workers' comp policy. Very important. It's so critical. It's a huge upgrade. It's very expensive compared to general liability insurance. I could get a very simple, small general liability insurance policy, and it wouldn't cost me hardly anything. Workers' comp, on the other hand, is much bigger, but it covers me for everything, and it covers you, covers all of my customers. They are safe when we're on their property. There's no way that anything could come back and hurt them. So workers' comp, find out, make sure they have it. You can also, if you want to, try to see if you can make sure they're in good standing with their policy as well too. Always try to get things in writing. Never just take somebody by their word for it. Business is still business. You might like your contractor a lot, but if they're up to date, they should be proud to hand you that over. Trust me, with the monthly payments we make on that deal, I'm proud to show my homeowners, customers, all that stuff, of exactly that we are covered and that you are covered when we're on your property. Number three, very important, reviews and ratings. okay? And I know everybody kind of says this, check all this stuff out, but do a little bit of research. Make sure that the company you're dealing with has a little bit of a background, that has a little bit of history. If they have reviews, look at them online. Don't necessarily totally disregard your contractor if he's not up to date with all of the stuff online. But if he's got a bunch of negative reviews online and he's not answering them, or if he's even worse, answering the negative reviews and starting fights online, trust me, the way he reacts or the way that they react online is a very good symbol to how they react in real life. Don't be afraid to push the boundaries a little bit with your contractor to see how they react in a negative situation, because you want that chemistry to be right. It goes both ways. The contractor needs to respect the homeowner, and the homeowner needs to respect the contractor. And that's what we really try to do. So look at the reviews, look at the goods, look at the bads. See how they answer and respond to the bad reviews. Even good contractors can get negative reviews online. We've got a few online to where people will go on there, and not even customers of ours will just go on there and make random complaints. We take our reviews very, very seriously because it's out there for everybody, and unless you own a business, I don't think you truly understand how much that impacts you. I mean, for us, it could mean the difference between getting a big job, a really big job. Customers take those very seriously, and I definitely don't blame them. So, if you're going to look at your reviews before you buy a TV, look at the reviews before you buy a huge project. Number two, don't be afraid to call the references. Check to find out who in your area has used them. Now, great, if you've got a friend who referred you, even better, because then you can see how they did their project. But if you don't have that, don't be afraid to say, I need a list of references and I want similar project types. Call those people, drive by, see how the project actually looked. Please don't be afraid to call them and check on the references. Number 4 and number 5 are huge. This is where a lot of people just tend to generalize and just say, okay, we're good. I feel good. This guy's giving me a good price and we're happy. I'm getting exactly what I want. But do you really know what you want? Don't be afraid. I want to make sure that, at least for us, for our services, that we are a complete open book, that our customers, I want my customers to understand exactly what they're getting, so that way when we get down the road, there's no question about what they're receiving. Everything goes so much smoother, and I'm in it for the long term. I'm not looking to just get the contract signed and then get you in the door and then just try to milk it for all it's worth. That's not the way we operate. We very rarely go up on our price, and it's only when we have provided a written proposal for work that's changed above and beyond do we ever go up, and they have to approve it. Our customers have to approve it before we move on with any work, and that's very critical. So have your contractor over one more time. Have him walk through the entire project, walk through the entire scope. Exactly. Make sure that you guys are both on the same page. Make sure if he's provided you plans, plans are awesome, that you understand these plans. Don't be embarrassed if you can't read a two-dimensional flat drawing plan, or if they're handing you a piece of paper that's scribbled. Get dimensions, get sizes, get quantities. Make sure you know exactly what you're getting. If you need to, have them provide model numbers on products so you know exactly what you're getting and you can look it up. We provide hyperlinks to our customers on our proposal. There's anything I can, it's got a blue underline on it. It's a hyperlink. The client can click on it and it'll take them to a picture of exactly what it is, and they can do research on that product to make sure that's what they want. Because ultimately, we want you to be happy. So, number 5, that was the first part. Number 4 was that part. 5 is just as critical. Find out what happens if things don't go the way that they're supposed to do. Ask them questions and get it in writing. So let's say that he's promised you a 3-week deadline. What happens if it turns into 3 months? Ask him that. Then get it in writing. If the contractor keeps pushing the project out, what happens? Are you compensated in some way, shape, or form? There should be some kind of time frame that the contractor should be held responsible to. Now, if you as the customer keep changing the scope of that project, then there needs to be additional lengths of time added to the project as well too. But if everything is kept the same, and you decide, and the contractor is taking twice as long. We had a project that did the same thing at our personal house. We were promised that the project would be done in 3 weeks, worst case scenario. The project didn't change, but 3 months later, we were still trying to get it wrapped up. I think it just turned out to be a lot bigger than what they had anticipated, but that still meant a lot of time and effort on our part. It was a big inconvenience. Having a contractor in your life is inconvenient. We want to get in, we want to get out, and we want you to be happy. And so what happens if it goes to that other length of time? There needs to be something in writing for you as a homeowner so you're protected, so that way if you're inconvenienced, that you know what's going to happen. Get everything in writing. Make sure that if you've made little changes or whatnot, get it in writing. It's as simple as you can even just hand write it in there and then have each of you initial it next to it. Payments, make sure you know exactly what's going to be the payment form and all that stuff. Just get everything in writing. That way you're both very clear on what's going to happen, what you're going to get versus what you're going to pay for. So anyway, that was my top 5 things. I hope they help. Use them. Let me know in the comments below if you have questions. Subscribe to our page. We really want to be here to help and offer continuing advice for homeowners getting ready to start projects. Let us know if you need anything.